All
Cheers.
right.
Cheers.
Cheers. Welcome to Old Drunken Discography, where old friends and fans come together to BS, argue, occasionally agree, and discuss a musical artist. Today's artist is Hole. We're going to be talking about the 4 studio albums, plus we threw in My Body the Hand Grenade because that record kicks ass. With me today, we have, he's pretty on the inside, Tim.
Oh,
Howdy.
you're
And
pretty on the outside too, Sam.
Oh, thank you.
he bought some credit in the
I'm
straight
pretty
world.
everywhere I go.
Will,
What was mine?
you bought some credit in the straight world.
All right, good, good.
And I'm
Into it.
Jason. These guys didn't give me an introduction, so maybe next time.
Oh, dude,
Oh, we could.
you're so Malibu, dude. Whatever, man. You're
Oh
Malibu
God,
Jason.
jeez, that's cool. All
No.
right, so let's see. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell thingy. Check out our Discord, our Patreon, links below. Facebook shout out to Sean Olson, and our Discord shout out to Mortala. Now, Hole. Will, how did you first? What is your relationship with the artist Hole?
Okay, so before Live Through This came out, there was a skateboard kid that I used to skate with named Josh Rowe, and we went to his place once after skating, and he had a copy of Pretty on the Inside. So that was the first time I heard of them, and I didn't listen to it. I just saw that it existed, and I was like, cool. And then Nirvana blew up, and it was everywhere. And then Courtney Love became a thing, and then Kurt died, and then Hole put out a record, and that's when I really paid attention.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
What about you, Tim? What is your relationship with Hole?
Yeah, also in high school, I was a Nirvana fan. And I remember hearing that he had gotten married. And then a friend of mine gave me a cassette tape. Side A was the Dead Kennedys, and side B was Hole. And so that was actually my
Nice.
introduction. And yeah, looking back on it now, it had stuff from like the first 3 albums plus some singles. It wasn't like any one thing.
Nice.
Yeah, and then of course I was awake in the '90s, so I found out who Courtney Love was very quickly.
Yeah, I mean that's basically me too. It was Nirvana, then Hole. My first serious girlfriend when I was 15 was a Riot Girl, and that's actually
Hello, Olympia.
yeah. Hole was one of her favorite bands. That's how I think I know a lot more about this band, at least their earlier stuff than their later stuff. But it's Bikini Kill, Bratmobile, like she was into all that stuff, got me into it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Um, who wants to start? We got Ed on here because he was supposed to come back from space, but something
Maybe
happened.
he is back from space.
Yeah, obviously I'm back on Earth now, and the scouting to find Ed was a failure, and I'm a failure of a spaceman. So he's still out in space somewhere. I don't know where though.
We did receive a message from space that said,
A lot of blinking lights.
"This is my yeah." We Morse coded it, and it was Ed's picks for his favorite Hole album. So we're gonna just throw those in there as we go.
Oh, so we have the inside info then. Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic.
I
All
mean,
right,
we had to
translation
decode
again.
some hieroglyphs off the pyramids
I
because although
do.
he wrote them in the future, we didn't receive them until years ago. So
The past.
interstellar communication.
Uh, I do hope nothing gets lost in translation as this happens, but we'll see.
Yeah, there was a lot of something about daughter, Whole daughter. So we'll transcribe that.
Well, all right. How about I start then? I'll start because it has to be Ed's least favorite too. My number 5 is Nobody's Daughter, and that is because it is not a whole record. It is a Courtney Love solo record with 3 studio musicians, men I might add, Not that that has anything to do. Yeah, it has everything to do with it, and it's just not, it's fucking terrible. It is the most cookie cutter fucking radio rock fucking schlocky bullshit I've ever heard, and I hate it.
Yeah, I did see. I read something where Courtney came out like a few years after the record and said, "Yeah, she shouldn't have called it a whole album. She should have called it, a Courtney Love album." But
Which she has a Courtney Love album too. So
Yeah, no, it
yeah,
was, which wasn't very successful, I don't think, which led her to believe that by copying the name, she might sell a few more records. But there's no Eric, and Eric and Hole and Courtney are like, that is Hole for the most part. Uh, and
he
there's
does kind of hold that band together
and
while he's there.
multiple songs on top of that would have been just better if Patty were playing the drums behind them, because a lot of the drum beats were just very AC/DC, not but 90s style. Like it was the same shit over and over again. It was terrible.
Well, and to be fair, Patty's only on one album because
No,
every single one
oh,
of these
that's right.
albums has a different lineup.
I did
Yeah.
not know that Patty was not on Celebrity Skin until Jason
Yeah,
told me
that's a
earlier.
studio drummer.
That's some crazy shit.
Yeah,
I don't like that either.
yeah.
I don't.
And we brought in Linda Perry to write songs. I've gone into this. I think it was Weezer was the last time we talked about Linda Perry.
Linda Perry worked. Oh my god, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she's she's a very successful songwriter these days. I was never a Four Non Blondes fan, and I remember her going back that far.
I mean, I never got the album,
she's
but
got
like,
a song style, and it's very bland.
if that video came on MTV, I would watch it.
Yeah, if it comes on a jukebox at a bar, I'm gonna fucking sing along to that.
Yeah.
It's a good jam for
It
real.
is a good
I
jam.
agree.
Well, but she also wrote, let's get this party started, and
Really?
yeah,
It's a
and
good pop song though. I mean, it's a pop song.
a lot of pop songs. I think she's written like Hannah Montana songs, Miley Cyrus, whatever that artist is.
That's like
the Disney stuff.
the lead singer of Letters to Cleo. Because I was interested one day. I was like, whatever happened to Letters to Cleo?
Yeah.
And the main girl from that went on to like do a bunch of like songwriting for like television and cartoons.
Same for Anna Warnker of That Dog.
Oh,
She also
I love
did the
Anna.
same thing. She's still working out
Yep.
in the background, man. She's awesome.
The Hayden sisters. We'll get to that dog.
They're the best.
So-
They're good.
All right, Tim. What's your...
Yeah, we're just continuing on with Nobody's Daughter. It is. It's not because it's not a whole album. Because really, they're all different lineups on every single one of these things, and we're clearly past the point where we're just
I don't know.
dealing
No
with
Eric,
outside
no...
songwriters searching for some sort of radio hit. No, I think that there were actually a couple good songs on here. I thought Loser Dust was good. I thought Samantha was good. I thought Skitty Little Bitch was not good, but fun. And then How Dirty Girls Get Clean is a weird Courtney Love, Linda Perry, Billy Corgan song that kind of goes all over the place. But I thought it worked in places. Having said that, the last song, the Codeine, like that's working class hero.
No, yeah. I think my two favorite tracks were Never Go Hungry and Codeine, and that's because both of those tracks were just Courtney with a guitar and a microphone, and that was it, and it was enough. It was.
I do not like her singing style on this album at all, though. That
Wait.
weird, like trying to go country, but still have attitude.
One of your favorite songs is Loser Dust?
Yeah, I thought that song was fun.
All right. I can't believe it. Okay. Yeah,
But yeah, this is a pretty bad album. It was better than I expected going in. I was really expecting the worst, and I was surprised that there was at least some enjoyable parts. But overall, it's pretty bad.
I'm gonna follow up with that.
It's a clean sweep, dude.
So I'm gonna read my notes here. So welcome to Courtney's second solo album. No Eric means no Hole to me. Slow, boring opening track. Skinny Little Bitch would have been a great song. The lyrics are great, but the music's awful. Honey sounds remarkably like a Four Non Blonde song. Just saying.
I wonder,
Uh,
do we have the songwriting credit in front of us? I don't on that, but
it's
chances
Oh,
are
actually,
dude.
good, right? Chances are good.
Oh, dude.
yeah.
All right. Someone Else's Bed. That song is Wonderwall. It is fucking
It's
Wonderwall
a
by
terrible
Oasis.
song too. It's just the way she's singing it. It's garbage. Yeah,
No, no,
it's
because Garbage is a good band. This would have been.
well, yeah.
Ooh, yeah,
Fair point. Fair point.
we need to cover
Fair
garbage,
point.
dude. I love
Yes, we
Yeah,
do
Shirley.
need
fair
to
point.
cover. Garbage is amazing. I love them.
Oh,
Garbage is in the dumpster fire that's
in the trash
rolling
pan.
down the alleyway.
All right. It's actually pretty good though. Well, the verses are anguish and misery fall here like a dead star, and everything you ever said now tears me apart. But the chorus is awful. Pacific Coast Highway is straight cringe. What the fuck was she trying to do singing like that? I don't know what. Samantha has some great Courtney lyrics though. Watch her wrap her legs around this world. Can't take that gutter from the girl, and people like you fuck
Do we
people like me in order to avoid agony.
do
That's
we
some.
know if this song's about Samantha Maloney, who was in the band Hole but is not on any of these releases?
I don't know who Samantha is.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know who that is either.
But like that's some like old school Courtney lyrics. People like you fuck people like me in order to avoid suffering. That's some top tier Courtney shit.
Yeah,
Shout out to
yeah.
Samantha Maloney. She's an awesome drummer, and she
And
deserves work.
I like the way Courtney like delivers that. Like at the end, her like voice is cracking and shit. But the good times of the album don't last long. We're back to trash with someone else's bed. Loser
That's so
Dust.
bad. So bad.
Loser Dust is cringy. You know what? Fuck the
I'll
rest of this
listen to it
album.
again,
Moving
but
on.
I marked that I
Okay.
liked it. I don't remember what it was I liked about it. I could have just been feeling really
I
generous.
was just reading my notes. It says Loser Dust is horrible and cringy. You know what? Fuck the rest of this album. Moving on.
Fair.
Okay, and Tim, and I'm looking at my notes, and I said that Loser Dust was a fun little rocker, but doesn't go anywhere, and it's kind of boring, but not
Well,
bad.
but in an album
Yeah,
that you could
you needed
that
that.
goes
You needed
nowhere
it.
and is
Yeah,
really fucking boring.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
for
wouldn't mind.
sure. Oh,
Really?
also, for once in your life is Mumford and Sons long before Mumford and Sons.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yay.
To me, Samantha's really the only redeeming song on this record.
Yeah, I liked
Sure.
that one too.
All right. Well, this is coming from Ed. He said y'all are wrong. Nobody's daughter's number 4.
Oh, I thought he was going to say number one, just to be a jerk.
That hasn't come through yet.
Okay, okay.
All right, Tim. What is your number 4?
My number 4 is probably going to be a hot take, but I'm going with Celebrity Skin.
Oh, wow. Okay.
For all the reasons we said about Nobody's Daughter. They're the same album.
Virtual high five.
Yeah.
Okay.
But to be fair, this one had more songs that were tolerable. Like, I mean, it's the single, so it kind of hurts me to say this, but after listening to all of this, Celebrity Skin, the song, is kind of fun.
It's a fucking banger, man. It's a good song.
Use Once and Destroy was cool. Northern Star had like some cheesy like strings and timpani, but you take that out and I liked it. Playing Your Song I thought was cool, had a cool bridge. And then I think I heard a bonus track version with Best Sunday Dress. I liked that one too. Cat Dillon has a credit on that one, so I was happy to check it out. But yeah, no, this is not a good album
Where
in general.
where did you hear that Best Sunday Dress?
That one I watched. Let Me Hear This Album on YouTube, full album video, and it was just tagged on at the end.
Okay, because it wasn't on the Spotify version, and I was super curious because Best Sunday Dress is like one of my favorite whole songs.
Yeah, most of these I went through YouTube.
But I've never heard her do it on. I've never heard the Celebrity Skin version because it was like a Japan.
Is it
extra
B-side or extra track?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Japan always generally got good
Yeah,
extra
they
tracks,
always got
too.
the good shit.
What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's because of
Although,
the price of the album. I think costs more over there or something. So they get
yeah,
extra.
it's like
Yeah.
6 months wage or whatever to import an album or something.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, not a good album. Clearly, this is. I mean, she says it right off the bat. We're making over this band into something that is not what it was before, and it's not going to be anything you want to hear. We're hunting for radio hits. Some
She
of
got them.
these riffs work, some of the songs
She
work,
got them
but
though.
overall, yeah, we brought in a studio drummer. We've
Yeah, dude.
one thing. The
Yeah.
one thing I
No.
will say about this album is I am a big Melissa Oftermar fan. She is awesome. The bass on this whole album was awesome. Check
Her
out her solo
backing,
stuff
her
too. That
back,
she's
Yeah.
great.
She's awesome all around.
yeah, her
Great
backing
singer,
Yeah.
great bass
vocals.
player, just
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. But unfortunately, she can't save this train wreck. So I'm going with number 4.
All right, I'm actually going to follow suit with you, so maybe both of us have the hot takes here.
Okay, so or maybe it's not a hot take, and the public is wrong for making it their biggest selling album.
Yeah.
No.
Hold on. Hold on. Let me see my
Okay,
notes.
I'm just throwing stuff out.
Because you got your guys' arguments are also kind of swaying me a little bit, so I'm kind of like trying to keep it together. But go ahead.
Okay. What the hell is this? I mean, the title track is okay, I guess, but it's not whole. It was fun to play in Rock Band, and I actually the song "Celebrity Skin" is actually really good. I watched some live performances of it after my notes, and it was good. Awful is just awful. Courtney's lyrics fit with Pretty and Live, but something like hits so hard, sung over that bubblegum pop bullshit, just kills any kind of meaning for me. Malibu is trash. I do like Reasons to Be Beautiful. The music is
I got some
closer.
Soundgarden-y vibes off that one, actually.
Yeah, the music is closer to Older Hole, and it works. The verse melody is really good as well. Dying is straight up Billy Corgan, but it does have some great backing vocals from Melissa. It just kind of drags on and on. Doesn't go anywhere.
No, that is the least Billy Corgan track on the record. I'm just going to disagree, but it might be.
Pedals?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm not as familiar with his output either, but
Yeah,
Pedals,
I thought Awful sounded more like a Billy Corgan track than Dying.
which
for
it's
sure.
not. Yeah.
I don't know. Awful. Was
Okay.
just, that's all my note says. It was awful. Northern Star is
I
just a
didn't
decent
like
acoustic.
it. I just didn't think it sounded like a Billy Corgan style. That's all I'm saying. I didn't like it either. I thought it was terrible.
Eric actually wrote Northern Star, the acoustic. The lyrics kind of feel forced, but Boys on the Radio, what the fuck?
The bass on that is great. That's my only note.
She took an amazing, powerful fucking song and turned it into that. You know what? And then I got the lyrics for it. I'm done. Fuck the rest of this album, is what my notes say.
Dude. Well, I guess it's my turn. So you know what? I've been reading over my notes as I've been listening to you guys talk about it, and you know I'm gonna make the impulse gut check here, and
You want to.
I'm going to put Celebrity Skin at number 4.
No hot
Because
take,
it's the
Will.
right thing to do.
No. I do have hot takes, but that's the thing. I'm reading over my notes, and most of my hot takes are negative and hateful about most of the record. Like, for real. Like, and some of the songs y'all like. All right, so this is what I said about Dying, because Dying is exactly, like, I hated it. I didn't think it sounded like a Billy Corgan track, though. It sounds like 6 other songs from the era. It's not bad. It's super familiar in a not good way. Like, it sounds like there was this trope of that song with, like, the glitchy kind of drum beat behind an arpeggiated guitar and then, like, a big open chorus. And that seemed, like, very prominent at the time this record came out. So that's what I thought it was. I thought Northern Star was a paint-by-numbers radio ballad with no personality. My final, like, thesis of it is that it was Courtney trying to be Belinda Carlisle from the Go-Go's, or make a Go-Go's
which Belinda Carlisle doesn't have a songwriting credit on this album, but a Go-Go does.
Oh,
Yeah. A Go-Go does have a.
which
Yeah.
So
which one? Which one?
God, my notes are a little destroyed on that. And
Because, dude, this record from start to finish sounds like a Go-Go's record, not a whole record. So I don't know what the fuck a whole. I guess there's one whole record that we can all agree on probably, but like it just. I love Malibu. I think it's a beautiful fucking song.
Really?
Yes, I think it's the chord progression during the verse is like that kind of like stab you in the fucking heartbreak kind of
That
jam.
was a Billy
And
Corgan song too, wasn't it?
it probably was. In fact, it kind of sounds a
yes.
bit like "Stand Like Your Love" from Machina, actually, a little
Yeah.
bit, but more of a
Kinda.
major key, glossy version of it. And then, and I love "Celebrity Skin" because it's just so goddamn catchy. It's an infectious little pop rock gem, and I love it. When it comes on, I can't help but sing along to it. Like it's got that kind of power to it. But really, the rest of the record sucks dick. Uh, and you guys are absolutely right. Like, I thought that I ranked it at number 3, not number 4. But the more y'all talk about it, the more I realize it's not as good as my other number 4. So,
A
yeah,
lot, a
I'm
lot
gonna
of,
stick with it.
a lot of my order is because of when I want to listen to whole, I want to listen to the whole that I know, and that's what's coming up, not this
Yeah,
bubblegum poppy whatever they turned into.
yeah.
I
The
mean, Celebrity
mainstream Tell
Skin,
Records
the
band.
production on Celebrity Skin sounds really good. Like it's a really well-made record. It just doesn't. If I want to listen to that, I would listen to like Garbage or somebody who does that normally better.
The things that really made me knock it down from 3 to 4 were the fact that until we started talking earlier, I did not know that Patty did not play drums on that record. And
Yeah, they
Patty
did her dirty on that one.
is such an important like drummer that is underrated and is amazing, and she deserves more accolades and love in the world. She's amazing, and finding that out was like a gut punch for one. And and I do have to say that I love Melissa Oftermar. She is one of the coolest chicks on the planet. Plays the best bass, sings the best harmonies. Just a great addition to any musical outfit she's playing with. And it's a shame that she's on this record. I guess now that I think about it.
But is it
Bummer.
though? Because as the only real saving grace
Yeah,
of
yeah.
a
Well,
platinum album, that's nothing to sneeze at. So
some of Eric's guitar playing on this record is really
it's
phenomenal as
pretty
well.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, the live I watched actually because it's what happens when you do these. You'll notice your Spotify playlist gets fucked up, your YouTube algorithm gets fucked up. So now my YouTube's like recommending whole stuff, and they were like it was like some MTV video of the whole Manson tour for this album, and it was really cool to see like Melissa cracking up and but like it had live clips of them too, and like they played really well for this album. Like the songs work, I think live. They just don't work the way they recorded it. It's so sugary bubblegum. Ugh, I don't know.
Well, in 1998, that is what was on the radio and selling. Was just a
Yeah,
bunch of boy
I
bands and
mean,
Britney Spears and Lincoln Biscuits and just pop.
Yeah,
Lincoln this
that's true. Oh,
I think Limp Bizkit was not this early yet, though. I think that was more of a 2000
yeah,
thing
that
for
was like a
sure.
2000.
I think it was
Oh
about the same
wow,
time, but I could be wrong. Who knows?
yeah,
So we should probably pause for commercial station
yes,
identification at
yes.
this.
We've got
Yep,
to sell some mattresses.
we gotta sell
Yeah,
some mattresses.
because from here on out it gets a lot better. So
After these messages, we'll be right
we'll be
back.
right back.
Would you buy a lunch in a brown paper bag if its contents were unknown? That's like buying a mattress when you don't know what's inside. All you see is the outside wrapper. At the Original Mattress Factory, we love to show you what's inside. Heavy gauge coils, stitched cotton padding, Amish built wood frames, and we show you mattresses under the wrapper so you can see and feel the difference. We'll save you hundreds of dollars because we eliminate the middleman. The Original Mattress Factory, genuine value from the inside out.
All right, so my number 3 is going to be My Body, the Hand Grenade. Now, I included this one because this is full of like some of my favorite whole. First, you have the 3 tracks from the First Sessions EP, all great. Then the Dick Nail 7-inch. Burn Black is just okay, but holy shit, Dick Nail is dark as fuck. It's like the precursor of Asking for It. I love Eric's guitar work on all of the early Hole shit. Beautiful Sun is another top tier Hole song from DGC Rarities, which this comp has come up like multiple times on this show. The Counting Crows, I think Weezer, we talked about it. Like, that is such a good fucking comp. It's a pro-transgender song from 1994. 20 Years in the Dakota is probably maybe the only tribute song ever written to Yoko.
It's a deep song.
It's a good song.
That's a deep
It's
song.
a really good song.
Yeah. Old Age, that's a Nirvana song, but Hole fucking nails it. That was one of my top contender songs for the next video, but I was like, it's not really a Hole song, but Hole Unplugged, the rest of the album is just Hole Unplugged. Where the fuck was Hole Unplugged? Hands down, I think that's my second favorite Unplugged, MTV's Unplugged that I can think of after Nirvana. I can't think of another one. Pearl Jam was pretty damn good, but
that Alice in Chains one is pretty damn good.
the Alice in Chains one's good too, but
yeah, it's really good. Yeah,
it's like really good.
It's really good. Yeah.
The Nirvana Clapton one's not bad.
Well, yeah, except for the whole, fuck Eric Clapton thing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we have, yeah. But album wise, it did pretty good.
It's got depth. It's got depth, which is good.
And as a friendly reminder, I'd like to remind you to keep your babies away from windows.
I thought it was a window or was it a porch of patio?
It was like a hotel patio kind of thing.
Yeah, like a hotel.
Yeah. It was up a couple stories, yeah.
Like Anthony Jeselnik, shout out, has the best joke about that song because it plays on the fact that most people don't know what the fuck that song is anymore. It's great.
Yeah, there's a lot of songs like that where people just completely miss the meaning or don't know.
It's just I feel like he's exploiting tragedy for a hit song, and it makes me sick to my stomach.
Well, and that kind of tracks with what we know about him as a person.
Yeah. Ugh. But my parents loved it.
Yeah.
Same.
But the track list
good. So I'm gonna let it.
Off of Unplugged is just Drowned Soda, Best Sunday Dress, You Know You're Right, the Carole King cover of Hit Me and It Felt Like a Kiss, and Hungry Like a Wolf. I just rant about the Unplugged here for the rest of my notes, but yeah, this is like some of my favorite Hole. I think I must have had a bootleg copy of Unplugged because I don't think it was ever actually released on CD, was it?
No, I think it was found on like SoulSeek and other like LimeWire and Napster and that kind of thing. So
even before that, I think I had a physical because when I was doing my top songs, I was going through the track list and I'm like, where the fuck is this song? Where the fuck is this song? And like,
dude, bootlegs were weird in the 90s, man. Like finding bootlegs where you could find entire albums of an artist that they did not intend to release that somehow somebody put on a CD and
when that Nirvana's that Sliver box set came out, I was like, there's nothing new on here. Like, I have I have opinion. I have, Moby Dick and all that is. But yeah, that's my number 3.
Word.
Cool.
Will. Oh no, wait, hold up. Something's coming from Ed. It said top 3 is Nobody's Daughter. So, Will.
Now we're sure that number 3 is Nobody's Daughter.
I thought for sure that Ed would appreciate at least the love of Pretty on the Inside at number 3 for me. I'm shocked.
Maybe that'll be his number 2. I don't know.
Maybe we'll see.
Maybe. I mean, clearly it's got to be, right? We're
kind of seeing through this as a premise, but I like it.
All right, Will, what's your number 3?
My number 3? Okay. It's going to be Pretty on the Inside. It was a toss-up between this and My Body. But I just think My Body's a little bit better. because it's bridging the gap between the sound that they did on this record with the record that I love more. So I find it fits perfectly in between them, the two of them.
I can see
Um,
that. Yeah, that makes
like
sense.
Pretty on the Inside is the first time I listened to it in my car, and for some reason the EQ was just way different than what it sounded like earlier today when I gave it a second listen. And it's in my car, you could only hear toms and Courtney. You couldn't hear any guitar at all. Like it was just those two frequencies in mass production, and it was too much to listen to. But listening to it earlier today, just in my home stereo, like holy shit, this thing fucking rocks. Like it's a monster. Like Teenage Horror is just a badass song. It's got a very L7 and Babes in Toyland vibe. It's just got this fucking sludgy
I
awesomeness to
wonder
it.
why.
A little bit of the Stooges too. Well, when we get to artwork, I'm gonna fucking bring that up.
Okay, cool. That works.
Because I definitely see more prevalence in that aesthetic more so than necessarily
sure.
the songcraft. But I also feel like that's because L7 and Babes in Toyland have more proficient musicians than the band had on this particular record. Like,
Well, and also, I mean, you got Jennifer Finch, Kat Bjelland, and Courtney Love all in a band together.
yeah,
So
for
they're
sure.
clearly, like, clearly
Yeah.
going through some dark times.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure they pick things up from each other.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's all everything's incestuous at a certain degree. I will say there's my reason why I've ranked it underneath My Body though is because there's a lot of filler on this record. It feels like Starbelly. That's literally Neil Young's Cinnamon Girl, and then it just transcends into like weirdness. Like it's just a noise break. It's a segue, if anything. Like there's a couple tracks like that. Like there's a couple of songs where there's a pattern that they're following because they're a new band and they're just figuring it out. And they're decided like this would have made a better EP than an LP, is what I'm trying to say. Like I feel like everything on My Body, the Hand Grenade, contributes to a narrative in a way, whereas this is just like a lot of it can be a little one note at times. But Teenage Horror, fucking Baby Doll, Garbage Man, Barry, and even Pretty on the Inside into Clouds, like the way they transition between the two really made it a greater whole than two individual parts. But I feel like those are the high points, and the most of it else is kind of samey and just a little amateurish because they were new and they were just getting their shit together. And also I feel like the band member changes after this record really benefit the band too. So that's just the way it goes on that one too. But yeah, that's my number 3.
See, I was the opposite. You didn't know Patty wasn't on Celebrity Skin. I didn't know she wasn't on Pretty on the Inside.
Yeah, I didn't either until today.
I thought Patty was
Thanks,
there.
Wikipedia.
Like,
that's how amazing Patty is like the album that she is apparently on. It's phenomenal.
All
anyway,
right, Tim, what is your number 3? Are you gonna?
I'm following right up with Will. It looks like.
Oh wow!
Pretty on the Inside is going to be my number 3. And I really liked this album. It definitely sounds of the time. I kind of think like this was August of '91, and that whole August, September of '91 was just a magical time. Like every album that came out.
Crazy! I didn't even notice that. Yeah. This is 1991. Holy shit.
Yeah, and it just fits right into that magical like 90 days where music could do no wrong.
Yeah, man. For real.
I hear
even bands that sucked made good records.
Even bands that suck, like man, if they put out an album those 2 months, it's going to be pretty good.
Like Metallica.
To 1991.
Yep, and the Chili Peppers, and really Pearl Jam. Like there's some shitty bands on that list. But anyway, yeah, Baby Doll is awesome. Good Sister, Bad Sister is awesome. Barry is awesome. Like the whole thing, it's got a real I mean, 91, it's still underground. There wasn't like a whole lot of expectations for this. And so it feels like the 80s underground and that post Black Flag just awesomeness that birthed probably all of our favorite bands, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I hear a lot of Melvin's influence here.
Yeah,
Like,
for real. No, like one of my hot takes that I felt was just insultory, like in a weird way, was that like, yo, they love they love the Melvins a whole
well,
lot.
and the Melvins at this point had moved to San Francisco and were
Yeah.
making noise, which Courtney had a long history. Shout out to Faith No More, who she was a singer for, and that footage does exist. I highly recommend
That's
it.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, so she had been up and down the West Coast, and she was well aware of what was going on in the underground. And this album is a wonderful encapsulation of everything that I love about that scene. The lyrics are dark. Oh, man. Don't let your... Well, maybe let your teenage daughters listen to this and explain to them like how life can actually be out there. Because this was a troubled youth, and we're describing a lot of very disturbing things, but it fits the album. It's a great album. I'm surprised it doesn't get more talk in the conversation of, that magical 1991 moment. And also like the AMREP stuff and all the noise bands out of the Midwest. Like, they owe a lot to this album, I think.
Oh yeah. I mean, the Distillers.
Well, yeah, I mean that's a whole
quoted
story. Even even like the Riot Girl movement and the post-punk feminism, and like there's a lot of really good stuff there that comes from this as well. So really like this album. It's really good. And yeah, and if you want to go into number 2, because Will already said everything about that one as well. Which I'm going with My Body the Hand Grenade for number 2.
Yeah.
I think the songs that are representative of this pre-fame sound are a little better on this compilation, and I also like the acoustic stuff's pretty good. I'm hopeful that they didn't pick the best stuff from the performance for this compilation, because that cover of Season of the Witch is not very good.
Yeah, well, I mean, some of the cover songs are kind of a downer, but it's still kind of cool.
But yeah, you talked about it earlier. 20 Years in the Dakota. Wow. That's like when my meta head wraps around that and goes, wait, did that really just happen? That's a pretty cool song. Turpentine, great. Dick Nail, great. I really like their... so Old Age, we got to talk about it, I guess. I've heard the Nirvana version first, but I know this came out first. And so it was interesting going back to the Old Age, because I love the Nirvana version.
That's weird as shit to me, because I didn't know Old Age was a Nirvana song.
Yeah, it's on the box set. It was Nevermind outtake.
Because the beginning of this is from A Credit in the Straight World, too. It's like the same intro.
Well, and she changes a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know how familiar you are with the Nirvana.
I just didn't know that. I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's she nails it, though. You were right, as you said earlier. She does nail it, and I like the changes she makes. I do like the Nirvana version better. I mean, who are we kidding? But this is really good, and I like the fact that, like, clearly she's listening to that tape before the rest of us are, and she's like, no, this is a great song, and I'm going to put this out.
That's
really cool.
Another thing, I don't think it was on. Yeah, it's not even on there, but like she did a performance of You're Right on the Unplugged as well.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, because I remember Ed calling me like, "Oh my God, have you heard the new Nirvana song?" No. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And I looked it up, and it was the studio. You're Right. I'm like,
That's fucking crazy.
This isn't this. I heard this like Hole did this years ago. Like,
Because when I first heard that, I was like, "Holy shit! This is the first new Nirvana thing I've ever fucking heard." I didn't know it was like even covered. That's nuts.
yeah, I heard the whole version on Unplugged, and then I heard the acoustic version on one of the Alcesticides. There was a just Kurt playing it.
Well, was it a whole song then that Kurt's covering?
No, it was a Nirvana.
No, Kurt wrote it.
Kurt
Kurt
wrote it.
wrote it. Okay.
And had
Actually,
demoed it on like some cassette in their bedroom. And
During
then there's
the-
an old
the-
band
Honestly,
version.
like I kind of
Yeah.
feel like Courtney Love's persona singing those lyrics makes more sense, and that's why I'm kind of like confused a little bit because I didn't know.
There
at
was
all.
an interview with Eric where he was talking about Unplugged, and he was like, I tried to fight it because Courtney just wanted to play a bunch of Nirvana covers,
Oh, okay.
and I got her down to just the ones that people didn't even really know were really Nirvana because they weren't out at the time. And he was like, because we're already up against a wall because we're doing an Unplugged.
Doing an Unplugged. Yeah,
after
that's
Nirvana's
going to be a
Unplugged, so
complete
we're
mind
already.
fuck, yeah.
Yeah.
But Courtney
Yeah,
wanted to
that's-
play a lot more Nirvana songs than.
Well, I'm going to have to look out that performance then. Because she did do some. She did like,
So-
You're Right and Old
Yeah,
Age.
she did. You're
Are
right.
are all of these covers from that same performance too?
Yeah. I think
Okay.
YouTube has the whole performance.
Yeah, I'm going to
like,
look that
uncut.
up. Okay.
Okay.
Hey, she does Softer Softest, Miss World.
Yeah, I've heard those on there, but like I didn't know that this was all from one big show that I've never heard before. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, I must have had a bootleg for it because like I remember like listening to Unplugged Whole like constantly back in the day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Nirvana Unplugged, they did a lot of cover songs too, so it fits that they would do a bunch of cover songs
Yeah.
on top.
But Nirvana,
But covering Nirvana songs is
like
a
the
little bit much.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to say about My Body, the Hand Grenade, and then I'll let you guys give me your number two, is Drown Soda. Drown Soda is awesome.
Yeah,
that
it
is a great song.
Yeah. I mean, you can go ahead and put my as number two as My Body, the Hand Grenade as well, because I agree with all of the things that Tim is saying. This is wonderful.
And this is where we point out that none of us shared notes before the show.
No.
We had no idea what we were going to pick. We're still waiting to hear what Ed thinks is number two. So
To be fair, mine changed on the spot.
and
to be fair.
yeah.
I mean, mine was a little bit different from right now. So, it's wild.
And then this is where we shout out Stephen King because we just had like a weird ass situation happen. And so I'm pretty sure it was in The Shining or the Tommy Knockers or something. So Stephen King, hit us up.
I've started my barrage on Twitter. I started. I sent him. I was like, Steve King, what do you think of The Offspring? He hasn't
Oh, I'm
replied
sure
yet.
he hates. He likes the Ramones. We need to
He
do
does,
the Ramones.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
we'll do
mean,
the
dude,
Ramones.
Pet
Actually,
Cemetery, baby.
yes, to be fair, Pet Cemetery was technically the first Ramones song I ever heard because my brother bought the soundtrack and he sang it around the house all the time.
That's awesome.
So,
Mine
yeah.
was the KKK Tip My Baby Away.
That's a good one though. I kind of wish mine was a better Ramones song actually, but
I mean, both of those are solid choices. solid choices.
Wait, hold up. Something's coming
Yeah.
in from Ed. Ed said, Tim, you're wrong. Drowned Soda is not good whole. Pacific Coast Highway is a good whole song. And he's saying number two is Nobody's Daughter.
Got me there. Wow. Okay.
I'll be real. There was a minute there earlier where I was just thinking to myself, I was like, dude, it's gonna be Nobody's Daughter all the way to number one, and I started laughing to myself. And it's just,
There's no way. There's no way.
I can't wait to hear what Ed really has to say about the situation.
All right. So is that all you had to say? Are you guys done with My Body?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
tell us why you like number two as Pretty on the Inside, because
E.
that's gotta be. Yeah, okay. All right.
Uh,
No doubt. No doubt number one for everybody, for sure.
When I Was a Teenage Whore is a great opening line. I love the rawness of this whole album. This is my Courtney. The lyrics feel real. Baby Doll, you can feel that Kim Gordon producing influence on it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
which I
yeah.
didn't know she had produced this album. I was pleasantly
Yeah.
surprised, and then
Big,
I could
big,
hear.
big shout out to Kim Gordon.
Yeah,
Big
for
shout
sure,
out to
The
Kim Gordon.
rock of everything, always.
Yep.
for sure.
Garbage Man has always been a favorite of mine. Sassy is just punk rock. Good Sister, Bad Sister. I love the music during the I can't and I want to so bad, and I try and I can't and I want to so bad. The lyrics aren't that, but the music of that's really fucking good. It's sludgy. Where's Joe at? He knows Mr. Jones from the Counting Crows, but does he know Mrs. Jones?
Oh, he probably doesn't want to know. This is
This is another one.
dark
It's
song.
so-
Okay, I'm gonna break and just say I think the Counting Crow song is better than this whole song. So I'm sorry.
I wasn't gonna do a comparison. I don't want to get into that.
Well,
not-
I
I'm-
didn't break. I'm not the one that brought up Counting Crow.
I'm not going to go on record and say Mrs. Jones is better than Mr. Jones, but
It's a good jam.
those lyrics, you want her on the bed with her legs wide
Yeah.
open, her eyes wide spread. Courtney was a stripper during the recording of this. Like that's how she got the money to make this album. Like you hear all these stories like, oh yeah, I had to be a janitor, I had to be. Courtney was a fucking stripper, and it shows in the lyrics of this record.
Dark,
Oh, yeah.
dark
Yeah.
lyrics.
Yeah.
Very dark. Barry and Loaded are both great. Starbelly, this is again where Tim said we don't know each other's notes, we don't know each other's. What Will said this kind of earlier. I was like, it's kind of a throwaway track, but it's short and she breaks into Best Sunday Dress at the end, which is such a good fucking song. Where the fuck is Hole
And I
Unplugged?
do want to throw out. You mentioned it was good punk rock, but Sassy kind of fits into this category with me too. Like clearly, it's an outtake.
Yeah, I agree.
They had something going, something went wrong.
Yeah, Sassy
So
kind of
then it
starts
just kind of
strong
becomes
and then
a
kind of
collage.
falls apart midway.
Yeah.
It kind of.
And like yeah, if you were making like a tight release, I would have gotten rid of that. Although I get it for the punk rock aesthetic, like we're just in the studio making noise, it sounds great. This
I
is,
mean, that's
you know,
that's
Those
the
should
whole
be-
I know. Like,
To be
I don't
fair, though, if they would have done a studio recording of Season of the Witch with more production, like and added that to this, that would have fit in 100%. If they did like a grunge sludgecore version of that song.
but instead you're gonna get the Nobody's Daughter version where she's trying to sing like some weird country pop version
Okay.
of it, and which is gonna
And
end up being 6 syllables.
To defend Ed, because I probably won't get a chance to say this later, the bluesy tone on the end on that one song whose name I already forgot, Codeine. Yeah, I would
Working
love to
Class
see
Hero.
her. I would love to see her doing a bar rock fucking like blues band. Like I think she could sell that shit
I
like
could
real
yeah,
well.
I could see that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure she could sell it live, but it does not translate on album.
But it could if she tried.
But is she gonna try?
I don't know. You're right.
It's
You're right.
yeah.
You got the point there, Tim.
All right. Well, my notes just go into where the fuck is Hole Unplugged because Best Sunday Dress made me because that they perform Best Sunday Dress.
So that never has been actually released then?
Not
Because I know I've never
officially.
seen it.
Like officially at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I didn't know it
would be
existed
looking
until
for
I found and listened to My Body, the Hand Grenade today. I didn't even know it was a thing that happens. It's
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't like.
Because
There's
Softer
a lot of
Softest,
unplugs that they didn't.
Softer Softest on there is really beautiful.
Yeah, they do a great version
know.
of Softer. The
Brown
title
Soda's
track
beautiful.
is such a fucking sing-along song. That slut, kiss, girls. Won't you promise her smack? Is she pretty on the inside? Is she pretty from the back? And I love
Yeah.
how it transitions into Clouds, which admittedly is not the best closer.
Yeah.
Still though, this is fucking whole. This is what I remember, not some Malibu shit. That's what my notes say.
Even though I will say Malibu is probably, if we had to name top 5 songs, it would be in the top 5 whole songs.
Hey, we're
Well,
doing that
imagine if
very
we had to
soon.
do that.
I know. That'd be
All
terrible.
right. Number 1. Are we gonna have a full break of the worst album and the first album, or is somebody gonna go off?
I
on
mean,
the-
it feels pretty clear.
Wait. Hey, can you ask Ed why he's going to, how he would defend Nobody's Daughter number 1 first? I think that would be more important to get that out of the way. Unless he's gonna break tradition and go with us on what number one is.
He said Samantha is better than Violet, so
I got a text message that For Once in Your Life was pretty iconic, and we had to respect.
Woo!
But for the rest of us, we're gonna go with Live Through This, obviously, evidently.
Yeah.
And
I'll be right back. I've got to get something. It has to do with the artwork, but all right, I'll hold off. Fuck it. Yeah, fine. No, never mind. I'm gonna shut up and take a shot. You guys talk.
I forgot to show my vinyl. Yeah, I got pretty on the inside.
There you go. Oh yeah,
Nice.
180 gram too. It's good.
Is that the plain reissue or is that an OG?
No, it's a plain.
And so, what do you think of the pressing then? Because I have a couple planes, and
yeah, it's not great.
It's not the best.
Yeah.
Hey, so
Or the
somebody
pink
with
version, but it's black.
it's off topic, but so as somebody that doesn't buy vinyl and knows nothing about it, why does 180 gram matter? Is it
the heavier the vinyl, the better,
more durable,
the deeper the grooves are.
Oh, okay.
And so the needle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I have
like
normal Nirvana Nevermind, and it sounds okay, but then I have a 180 gram of Bleach, and it just sounds so fucking good.
Really?
Yeah.
Excellent.
I got a 180 gram at 45 of Incesticide.
Ooh, yeah, my Incesticide.
So good. Like you're literally in the room with them. It sounds amazing.
I guess it's fair that we're talking about Nirvana while also reviewing this record, but Incesticide is my favorite Nirvana record, other than In Utero. In Utero is my second favorite.
Oh, I don't know if you know this, but we're going to be doing our 100th episode. We're going to redo Nirvana.
Oh!
Which was the first episode.
Which was the first episode when we didn't know what the fuck we were doing. Clearly, we know what we're doing now.
Well, I hope I don't get fired before that happens, because I love that fucking band.
And I still say we add all the stuff you didn't include in the first episode, like Wishka and Unplugged.
Well,
Unplugged wasn't in it?
Unplugged
has to be in that. Unplugged is my number one, honestly. It's ridiculous.
We'll add Unplugged, but I don't know about in Wishka, because if you do Wishka, then you got to do like Live and Loud and Paramount. And...
Okay.
I don't even know what Wishka is. What is Wishka?
From the Muddy Banks of the Wishka was a live album that they put out.
Okay, that I recognize, not the thing with.
Sorry, shorthanded it.
Yeah,
it's okay.
That intro.
Had to do the abreves. As the
I was honestly hoping Wishka was like some unknown B-side collection that I didn't know existed. That's what I was.
Well, technically, it's the only official release of Spank Through.
Really?
Is it? Is Spank Through not on the box set?
I think some shitty boombox version.
I've got so many versions of Spank Through, it's crazy.
Yeah, but the only official one is Wishka.
Really?
Word.
I'll have to look at the box set. I could be wrong,
but that'll be coming out in October, which means we'll be recording it in September-ish because we're a month ahead. We're from the future.
Yeah, podcast
scheduling
in
the past.
Yeah, right. Way in the past.
Yeah. Gotta get this Trump out of the office here.
Spooky.
So how do we want to approach number one though? Clearly, this is the.
It is non-stop fucking dope from start to goddamn finish. It is a fucking excellent record. Done.
I mean, that pretty much sums it up.
Really, yeah. The production's great. The songs are great. The pacing is great. There's a couple songs I could do without Miss World, but
I love Miss World. What? I think it's a great song.
It's not terrible. Dude. I could do without it.
All right, okay. Outside of the singles, which I think are all fucking great. I think Violet's great. I think Miss World's great. I think Doll Part's great. Rockstar is fucking iconic and anthemic. It's wonderful. It's a great closer.
But we did talk about something in the past though. Okay. Where if somebody's singing a song and it's not true.
Well,
nobody in this band is from Olympia. Nobody
no.
Olympia.
That song is a literal rip on the whole Riot Grrrl thing, which is sad.
Sure, of course.
but it's also well fucking executed.
Yeah, of course.
Such a
And
banger.
musically,
But it's
and
also the
musically,
thing of, I think it
but
was the
lyrically, like,
Atari's
dude,
where he's driving down the highway when he's 2 years old or whatever. Like,
yeah, it doesn't matter. A good song is a good fucking song. It doesn't
No,
matter
I agree.
if like somebody else can cover it later and it loses all of its irony. It doesn't even matter anymore. It's still a good song.
Sure.
The
I
guitars
just
are
had that
banging.
thought as I was listening to it today for the first time in probably 25 years.
That's fair. As the resident Pacific Northwesterner here, I think it's fair for you to do that, and that's
Hi,
understandable.
Olympia.
What's up, ladies? Awesome
You,
town.
you talk about Melissa, but that bass on fucking Jennifer's body is
Yeah.
so good.
No, yeah, no.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's sad. It's sad what happened to her, and I wish she could have been on the next record too, because it probably would have been a better record with her influence on it. I think.
And
Even
the
though-
one with Patty. We are
Yeah.
dealing with Patty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who's a
The
great drummer.
rhythm section on this is fucking killer. It's so good.
And we mentioned it earlier, but Eric does kind of hold the band together musically until he's phased out by
Yeah.
the producers, I'm guessing.
By the people who
And-
have stock guitar parts in a book somewhere that they can just throw into something.
But yeah, his playing on here is fantastic. And this is the only one that's really, it's band written. Everything
Yeah.
after this is outside songwriters and, Billy Corgan and everything.
Well,
before
okay,
this
okay.
is-
To call out the elephant in the room, Kurt Cobain did have a lot to do with the vibe and the writing on this record. So outside writers is still technically a part of the equation.
Sure, but it's
She
not
just-
credited.
Yeah, she
It's
gave
not
credit.
credited. This is
And
true.
I could see the argument where Kurt did not write this album. I did learn that he does actually sing background on 2 tracks, but I could see where he didn't necessarily write this, but just the influence of her being in the room.
Yeah,
he's
it's
making
still-
montage of Heck
Yeah.
and all these other just random recordings.
Yeah.
It's gonna influence somebody who already on their first album was very influenced by people she was already in a band with.
Yeah.
And so
Well, I
it
mean,
makes sense that
it's-
she's trying to be more melodic and more radio friendly and more Kurt like,
There's just
as
a
opposed
lot-
to this just being a Kurt Cobain album.
the whiplash. Like, I so appreciate My Body the Hand Grenade a lot because it shows the transition from the band. Like, when I first heard, I listened to Pretty on the Inside and then Live to This immediately back to back, and the whiplash was fucking crazy to hear those 2 bands being the same band. And they're not, obviously, but hearing My Body the Hand Grenade definitely filled in a gap that made the transition make a whole lot more fucking sense.
Okay, yeah, sure.
That's my problem with Celebrity Skin is there's no gap, but between
No, there's not.
this
It
and
is
Celebrity
whiplash
Skin,
from
it's
shit.
just-
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a crazy whiplash for sure.
Well, and she does say it right off the bat. First 10 seconds, she tells you exactly what's up. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Or does Billy tell you? I'm not really sure who wrote what.
I don't think Billy wrote the lyrics. I think he wrote the guitar parts. Give Courtney her credit. Courtney gave that
Yeah.
her lyrics
Even
herself.
Nobody's Daughter, she wrote most of that while she was in rehab.
Yeah, she wrote the lyrics for everything.
Yeah.
I think she's like
Okay.
legitly like has a creative voice for
I
sure.
think Billy
Sure, okay.
and Kate, like all these other people, I think they just kind of helped her form the song.
Yeah,
Melodies,
like there's
bridges, all that good stuff.
like
Yeah.
you don't have to be like everybody writes different parts to a song. So I
Right.
feel like just if you're just writing a vocal melody and a lyric, you're just as credited for a songwriter as somebody who writes a guitar part on the same time.
Well, sure. But just as well as I do though that like writing a song, like the credits don't necessarily reflect what actually happens and what the conversation is.
Is there a conversation most of the time though?
Sometimes it does happen.
Yeah.
I know, like I'm in a
At
lot
some
of
point, somebody's going to be like, do this part differently.
Well,
You know?
that's true. That's true. It is a group effort for sure.
Yeah.
I'm in a lot of like Facebook groups, and I think it's like younger generations and even our generation to an extent. Like a lot of people bash Hole for the the Kurt Nirvana thing,
Yeah.
but you cannot objectively listen to Live Through This and not say that is a phenomenal record, no matter what
Yeah.
happened. Like, it is such a good record.
Yeah.
You could say that about 3 of these.
Yeah.
I would.
I think the last two, objectively they're bad, and I think that like you almost have to look at what's going on in her personal life and the world around her to make sense of it, and that might make them better.
Well,
but objectively, they're bad.
Courtney Love is definitely the proto modern celebrity because she was more famous for her antics outside of an artistic endeavor, for the most part, through gossip and all that kind of shit. Like, that was her thing, even back then in the 90s. Like, she was kind of an originator on that, for better or worse. So it's kind of like, I don't know where I'm going after that, honestly.
She is an icon and should be celebrated.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I love Courtney despite all the crap that, Nirvana is my favorite band, but I still love Courtney and I still love Hole, at least those first 2 records plus My Body.
Well, and going through this discography, I even have a newfound respect and admiration for her. Because, the good ones here, it had been a couple decades since I listened to. The bad ones here, I listened to in the last week. And,
she is a tragic person, though. Like, if you've ever looked into her life, even before Hole, she went through some shit. And
dark songs on that first album.
Very dark.
Dark lyrics.
I mean, dude, what is the song from the hand grenade one? Dirt Nail?
Dick Nail?
Dick Nail.
Jesus Christ.
That is some brutal ass shit, man. Like, it's just intense.
Yeah,
I wanted to put it on top songs just so like more people would hear it. And I'm like,
well, I put it on top songs just for the title.
Yeah, God,
just for the title. It belongs.
Well, I won't tell you that I put it on top songs for musical content.
I didn't put it on there either, but spoiler alert.
Or is it? Tune in to find out.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
hit that subscribe button.
It's crazy, but anyway, yeah, we'll get to that in the next time. Yeah.
Does anybody else have anything else to say about? I mean, I've got a whole.
Yeah, final thoughts, anybody?
Notes on this album, but
on Whole as a whole,
or just Live Through This,
Just don't Live Through This.
All of the above.
Yeah. So, where would you recommend? If you never heard Whole, what would be your starting point? What number?
God damn. Like the album?
Yeah, I mean, we know Ed's.
For me, or am I recommending this for somebody?
Well, I mean, that's such a difficult question to answer because, one, you have to question the person you're offering this to. Like, are they mature enough to hear the rarities first and think that would be a good way to understand the band, or do you want to give them the hits? What do you want? Like, I don't know. That's a difficult one.
I'm going to start with Pretty on the Inside because that was the first thing. Everybody should just listen to that first. And then they should listen to Nobody's Daughter. And then they should go, what side of this spectrum am I on? And then
I feel like giving them and I understand I'm going to get shit for this. I would say Celebrity Skin. Because I'm basing this on the fact that this person probably doesn't have a good idea of what they like to begin with if they haven't already heard this band. And I would give them that record because it's got a little bit of everything, but it's got a pop sheen that will get them to listen to it to begin with. If somebody's not into music, that glossy finish leads them in. And it's a good stepping stone to something way better.
the lyrics on Celebrity Skin are there. I mean, there's some dark themes on Celebrity Skin as well.
Yeah.
And I think honestly, I grew up with Pretty and Live, so I couldn't. It lost all hope on me by 1998. I had moved on, but.
Do we know if My Body, the Hand Grenade's still in print?
Was it ever? And
I had the CD of this one. Yeah, I had the CD.
Okay, I'm gonna look for it.
I went to the Wikipedia and it seemed to imply that it was released officially in Europe, and there might be copies available here, but It was
Those
never
are my
officially
favorite
released here.
albums. I don't care who it's by. If you can't get it, I want it.
Yeah, that's for sure. Agreed.
I had the CD. I remember the CD. I don't know if it's still in print though.
I've never seen it before until I clicked the link
Well,
that you sent me. Like I didn't know it existed. It's
and I
crazy.
kind of vaguely remember it being advertised because of old age and hearing that, oh, yeah, no, Kurt has a songwriting credit. This is one of his songs, and they're just doing it.
Yeah.
But I don't remember actually checking it out. I don't know if I was just,
I was not in the loop for that. I had no idea this existed. It's amazing.
Yeah, I was in a different loop in 97, so.
I was still like hole in 97, and then that's why Celebrity Skin hit me next year. I'm like, what the fuck happened to this band? But
my 97 had other things going on. I just didn't hear about it. It's rough because I would have really enjoyed listening to this in 1997. It would have blown my fucking mind. I think 97 might be a year like 91, honestly. It's like a lot of shit came out that year that was phenomenal.
what
I
else came
can't
out?
think of a single thing I liked in 97.
I mean,
Wait. All right, wait, hold on. My sense of time is weird. Because I could be thinking about 96, not 97.
96 was definitely better than 97 for me.
Faith No More, album of the year. What year did that
was
come
95. Album of the year was 97. Okay.
97? Okay.
Yeah.
Ben Folds
Yeah.
5, actually, their best record came out that year. There's a lot of records came out that year.
Green Day's
We might
Nimrod
have
came
to
out in
have a new
97.
segment.
Nimrod was a
every
great
year.
fucking record. I think Adore came out, which is my secret favorite Smashing Pumpkins record.
Was Adore 97? I thought that was 90.
It might have been. I want to say it's 97 because I could drive.
I think it was 97. I think you're right.
Yeah. Because I remember driving to the store and buying it. You know what
I
I
think
mean?
it was late 97. I think you're right.
It might have been. Maybe it was early 98. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, regardless, I'm just hyping shit up because we should have transitioned to the next segment anyway.
Yep. All right. So let me find my here.
People have tuned out by this point anyway. They already know our
they've
number
already-
one.
they've
They
already-
don't
yeah,
really
fuck
actually
this.
have
They're like, Will's drunk. Who cares? Shut up.
So that was our album ranking top song. Sorry, that was our album rankings of whole. Leave us a comment below with your rankings. Be sure to tell Kim Gordon about ODD. Tell her we loved her production on Pretty, and she should
Tell
come on
Melissa
the show.
Offmar about us, please.
And she should come on the show and tell us how that went. Give us the scoop, Kim. Let us know.
I just want Kim Gordon to write another book. If she's not going to do any more music, write another book. That book is so good. If you haven't read
Thurston
it,
just
read
put
it.
out a book, didn't he?
I don't. All right, I'll be honest. The Sonic Youth one, if we ever do a Sonic, is going to be weird because I am not a Thurston fan at all.
Good night, everybody.
Sonic Youth next week.
Oh my God! Really?
Be safe and make good decisions.